Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Home with Friends. I'm your host, Brittany Fideli. I think Labubus are ugly, I don't watch Love Island, and I hate the new Instagram font that everyone's using. How are you today? And also, Sexy Red sucks. I say that because I just turned the music off. Yukon from Justin Bieber's new album. Still not old yet. I can listen to this song on loop. Fine, that's a shout out for Yukon. The song with Sexy Red, like the song, it just starts so well, and then she comes on and just absolutely ruins it. She's so bad. Like, she really is just so bad. I don't know how people are a fan of hers. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that's a hot take, but that's just truly how I feel. When her verse comes on, it's an immediate next. Okay. I am excited for this episode. I appreciate everyone's patience, even though I don't know who necessarily is waiting on this. But to be real for a second, I don't know if this is relatable. I'm sure it is to some people, but I feel like when I start to get really overwhelmed with anything in life, I just like shut down. It's like analysis paralysis, right? It's like, I have so many things I want to do. I have so many ideas. I have so many plans. And then as soon as I start to get like stressed or overwhelmed, instead of just doing something, I just do nothing. And it's just like a snowball effect of like almost like a self-sabotage. And then I just like get out of a routine. I get in a rut and it just like spirals very quickly. So the past few weeks, I've been meaning to do a solo episode. I had a couple other episodes planned that didn't pan out for different reasons. And I just lost like the motivation and the confidence and all of those things. And there's the quote I don't know if it's really a quote, but like, action creates motivation, not the other way around. Like, motivation doesn't create action. You can't sit there and wait for motivation. You have to just start and just do things, and then the motivation will come. And that could not be truer for me. When I actually just sit down and start doing something, even right now, just sitting here and starting, like, I'm excited to talk, and now I feel like I could talk for an hour. But getting to this seat and in front of this camera right now took way more effort than I'd like to admit. So I don't know. And the thing is too, like when I shut down like that, it's almost like, I don't know, I really try to like analyze why I do things. It's like, I feel like I isolate or I want to isolate. And I don't know if it's because like I want someone to ask like if I'm good, how I am. And like, I'm wanting that like help or support or attention or what it is. But then the reality of the situation and the truth is like, nobody's coming to save you. You got to get yourself up and you just got to like be your own cheerleader. And it's way easier said than done, especially for me. So I don't know. I just needed to throw that out there and be honest that like this past few weeks I'm also like, that's the perfectionist side of me too. Like, I want to do well at something. I want to put out good quality episodes, and I just like start to really overthink things, and I just get in my head and I'm my own worst critic and all those things. So if that's relatable to anybody, just know that like, I think we all as humans go through it, and we just have to get ourselves up in the morning and keep going because nobody's going to do it for us. And yeah, so here we are. So couple quick updates. I figure we can start with my rental property because I do have an update from the last solo episode I did. So if you listen to the first solo episode, I basically was explaining that I own a rental property. I had tenants in it for 3 years that were moving out. So I was getting ready to get it clean, get it ready, get it fixed up, and then relist it. Well, I use Zillow, and it's really nice as a landlord because it's free, okay? The service is free. You can list it there. People apply right through Zillow. They pay like a $35 fee, and it gives me a background check and a credit report on the person with their full application. So typically, and this isn't always the case, but from personal experience, typically someone's not gonna fill out a full application without inquiring first. Usually they're gonna reach out, they're gonna inquire, they're gonna set up a tour. Then they're going to come look at the property, get a tour. If they like it, then they'll apply. I had it listed. I listed it for $2,700. I originally had my old tenants paying $2,500 a month. but I never raised their rent, or I didn't raise it from year 2 to year 3 just because they were good tenants. We had a good relationship, and that was just like something I wanted to keep the same for them. So I had them paying $2,500 a month. Once they moved out, I'm like, okay, I'll use this opportunity to increase rent, make a little bit more money. And it made sense for the market just based off the comps that I was pulling in the area. So I listed it for $2,700. I had it listed for like 3 to 4 weeks. I really wasn't getting that much action on it, to be honest. Like, not a lot of inquiries. I think like 1 or 2 tours. And then I decided, after talking to Bryant, shout out Bryant, to lower the price, just because the rental markets got really competitive, especially in Charlotte. There's a billion apartments to choose from that have really great amenities. It's hard to compete. So lowered my rent to $2,500. Pretty quickly started to get more people wanting tours and wanting more information. But then I got a full application one night. I remember, just came in, the person never reached out. We didn't talk. Yellow flag already for me. Again, this doesn't mean it's always going to be the case. From personal experience, also just from my job, like in the mortgage world, if someone's filling out a full app without calling you, talking to you, emailing you, nothing, it's probably because they've been denied at 10 other banks, and now they're just like, what's that saying? Throwing spaghetti at a wall. I don't think that's the saying, but I think you know what I mean. Like, they're just like shooting their shot, if you will. Okay. So they'll just fill out a full application. More times than not, I'll pull their credit. They have late payments, really poor credit, and whatever. So I get this full application and I immediately start looking the person up. I'm looking up the name, I'm looking up the company, and it's just like an instant gut reaction. It felt like a scam to me. I couldn't find anything about this person, about this company anywhere. All the pay stubs like looked doctored to me a little bit. My friend thinks it's because like I have experience looking at pay stubs with my job. She looked at them. She was like, I would have never known. I don't know. I think if you really look closely and pay attention to detail, you would have known. There weren't like typos or anything, but like the social security in one spot had like the last 4 blacked out, where like in another spot it didn't, which like pay stubs don't even always have your social on them. It was an quote unquote hourly employee with like exact hours, which again, yellow flag doesn't necessarily mean it's not real, but usually you're going to have exact numbers for a salaried employee. Just little things. And the company I looked up, it was like this random company out of quote unquote out of Raleigh. Their website was I really should. I don't care calling it out because it ended up, spoiler alert, it ended up being a scam. So it's like, I don't mind saying what company it was. I just really don't remember. Shoot, I should have found that beforehand. Anyways, my dumbass decided to still just entertain this person. I don't know why. I knew it was fake, and I just was like, oh, let me just see. Like, I don't know why I second guess myself. Like, I need to just trust my gut. So I'm texting this person. They also don't have an iPhone, green text. I don't know. Just random little things that I'm telling you. It's hard to actually explain on this podcast, but you just have to take my word for it that everything fell off. So I'm texting this person. I'm asking them, do you want to set up a tour? Oh yeah, let's set up a tour. Like, why am I asking you? You're trying to rent my place. We set up a tour. I don't believe the person I was texting was actually the person that came to the house. And they're like, hi, what was the name? Sebastian Tucker? I need to fact check that. If that's wrong, I'll edit that out. But if it's right, then you heard it. So that was the name that was on the application. Says his name, comes in, and is just like, like if it seems too good to be true, it usually is. He's like, I already know I love it. I want it. Like, can you send me the lease? I'll sign it right now. I'll have that was on a Thursday. I'll have movers here on Saturday. This and that. I'm like, we didn't even go upstairs yet. Like, what are you talking about? And from giving multiple tours, like when you're giving tours to people, they're like, oh, they're opening the pantry. They're looking at the backyard. They're going in the room. They're looking at the closet. They're going in the guest room. Oh, maybe I can make this an office. Like they're inquiring. They're asking questions. They're trying to picture where they put their furniture. This guy's not asking shit, okay? He's just walking around. He's like peeking in a room and be like, oh, great. I'm like, not even the primary, to not walk in it's a 3-bedroom, To not walk in either of the other 2 bedrooms and like look at the closet is weird. So we're walking around, I'm giving him a BS tour. And we get back downstairs and I was like, so I go, I reached out to your manager and he just seemed very like caught off guard that I did that. And he was like, oh, you did? And I'm like, yeah. And both people I reached out to, his manager and his rental person, didn't answer my call, like ignored my call, and then texted me back, both green texts. I just think out of 3 people, not one of them having an iPhone is weird. Statistically, in America, like, you probably have an iPhone. Anyways, the one lady I remember, it was the rental person. Her name was, fake name was Renee. I called her and no, I lied. Pause. I did not call her. I texted her and I said, hi, this is Brittany. So-and-so just applied, says that you're his current landlord. I just wanted to chat for a second for any insight you might have on how he has been as a tenant or something along those lines. And she immediately writes back and goes, so sorry, I can't answer your call. I'm out of the country. And I was like, wait a second, I didn't even call you. Like, it almost just felt like she said that like on autopilot, like not really knowing what to say. That was weird. His quote unquote manager, boss, whatever, from his employer, I did call, didn't answer, like sent me to voicemail and then texted, hey, I'm in a meeting. And then I basically said the same message I said to the Renee lady. Oh, he's been great. He's a great employee. Yeah, he's been here for X amount of years. I'm like, okay, but I'm looking up the Renee lady's name. I'm looking up the boss's name. Not them and him, not one of them were anywhere on the internet. Anywhere, literally anywhere. Like, it's 2025. If I can't find your Facebook, your LinkedIn, if I can't type in your name and put Charlotte and have anything pop up, like, it's just bizarre. And anyways, ended up being a complete scam. I knew it. He left. And right before he left, I forget exactly what I said, but I made a comment like, he was like, so can you send me the lease? Can you send me the lease? And I go, I got to do a little bit more due diligence on you. I can't find you anywhere on the internet. And he was like, oh, yeah. I like to be off the grid. What'd I say? I said something like, yeah, there's off the grid and then there's you, or something, like basically trying to say like, you can be off the grid and still have a digital footprint. You know what I mean? Oh, sorry. This is so long-winded. I never ended up sending the lease. I just knew something was off about it a couple days later. So in Zillow, there's like a inbox basically with all your messages and people that have been inquiring your tours and people that fill out applications. And after a couple days, I went back to go click it and it was gone. And it said, Zillow removed this conversation due to the violation of guidelines. And I was like, wow. And the scary part is like the credit report came through, showed like a 720 credit score, on-time payments, like looked good. The background check came through saying all was good. So I don't know if someone's identity was stolen. I also don't know this person's end game. Like, I've thought about it. Is it because this is a real person that's trying to get housing that has a criminal background or has really poor credit and knows that they're not going to get approved, so they're trying to use someone's identity and they just are going to get in the house and like be fine and pay? Probably not. Is it someone that's just trying to scam their way into housing and then they're going to like try to rent it out from under me to somebody else? They're going to use the house for drugs or something, or zero plan to actually pay rent, knowing that it's going to take a couple months to actually evict somebody because that's like its own process. I don't actually know what the end game of those scams are, but if you are renting a place, if you are using Zillow or any other platform, just be very cognizant of that. My friend's renting right now. She just sent me an application like 2 hours ago. She was like, do you think, because she knows my story, she's like, do you think this is fake? And I'm like, yeah, I do think it's fake because we couldn't find his name. We couldn't find anything about the employer. The phone number is a big one. Put in someone's phone number and it'll like link to random weird posts. This specifically, I put in his phone number on Google to help my friend, and it said, this phone number has been linked to potential scams. It was the first sentence. I'm like, yeah, this something's not right here. So that's just a little warning. But the good news is I ended up finding tenants, a really nice couple, got a tour. They really liked the place. They were between my place and another place, and they were like, listen, we're kind of in between. We're trying to decide, are you flexible on price? would you be willing to do a little bit of a lower price if we signed for 2 years? And I was like, yeah, duh. Like, of course. If I could sign for you for 10 years, I would. So they were like, can we do 2,400 year one, 2,450 year two? And I was like, sold, sending you the lease right now. They were really cool. So they moved in at the beginning of last month, beginning of July. And I figured I'd kind of break the numbers down for you guys, for those of you that are interested. So my mortgage on that property, I refinanced into a 15-year back during COVID. So I have about 10 years left on the house. If I never refinanced, my payment would be way less. Obviously, 30, the longer the term, the shorter, oh my God, the longer the term, the lower the payment. But since I have a shorter term, my mortgage payment is $14.40 a month. That's just the principal and interest. That does not include escrows. Escrows are your homeowner's insurance and your property taxes. My homeowner's insurance is only $38 a month. That is cheap because it's a townhome. So with a townhome, I only have to pay for what's called a walls-in policy because the HOA that I also pay for every month, they cover the exterior of the home and the roof. So my homeowner's insurance is $38 a month. My HOA is $193 a month. My property taxes are $261 a month. So in total, my payment, including everything, is $1,932 a month. And like I just told you, I'm making $2,400 a month for the first year, so I'm netting $468. Year two, they're going to pay $2,450, so I'll be netting $518 a month. Again, I'm super happy. I'm very excited. It's a lot off my plate to have like good tenants in there. With that being said, also this morning, we had heavy rain today. We're supposed to have heavy rain all week in Charlotte, and I get a text, hey, I just woke up to this, sent me a photo, primary bathroom leak in the ceiling. And it's like, literally when it rains, it pours, like literally. And I'm like, oh my God. So because the HOA covers the roof, I put in a service ticket right away, waiting to hear back from them. They got back and said, I should hear back in 1 to 2 days. So super stressful. Like, obviously I get that text, my heart drops, like, I'm responsible. I have to take care of this. Like, I have nobody helping me. I don't have a property manager. So that's the stressful side of being a landlord, but it is what it is. Like, all I can do is I try to be the best landlord I can be, in the sense that, like, the second she texted me, I paused everything I was doing and I was like, okay, let me reach out to the HOA. Like, let me submit this now. I don't want to procrastinate. I don't want to put this off till later. Like, let me just do the best I can. And I'll keep her in the loop. I CC'd her on the email, my tenant, so she's, it's transparent, like she can see everything, and we'll just go from there. We're gonna have to the HOA is gonna have to reach out to a roofing company. They're gonna have to get someone out there, and we'll see what they say, and we'll figure it out. So I hope this doesn't cost me a ton of money. Like, if it is the roof, the HOA will cover it. If it's something more than that, I'm gonna have to come out of pocket. We'll see. It is what it is. One thing I did do, I went and put a little basket together before the tenants moved in. I don't really know why I did it. I just was feeling nice one day. And because they are signing for 2 years, I was like, okay, we have 2 years together. I want to get off on the right foot, right? I just went to Target. I got a basket. I put some little home good things in there, a blanket, salt and pepper shaker, a candle, like nothing insane. It was like less than $200 for everything in there. I put a bottle of whiskey that I've had sitting here for 3 years in the basket, and I just put it on the island, the day before they moved in, with a little note, welcome home. And honestly, like, I thought about it and I was like, for $200, it was like $170 is what it ended up costing me. I was like, if this is what it's going to take to like just have a good relationship with my tenants, then I think it'll be worth it. Guess what, guys? August 1st, you know what sound I woke up to? It was cha-ching from Venmo. And if you have Venmo, you know that is the best sound ever. And I was like, what was that? I look, 7:26 a.m., rent. The basket paid off. What else is new? Okay, so if you follow me on Instagram, you probably have seen that I've posted about OGEE is the brand. They reached out to me to be a little brand ambassador, if you will, a creator, which I thought was just like really exciting because their whole thing is that they're cruelty free and vegan, which is great, of course, because there's so many people that prefer that. And they sent me some product. I did a video, and then they were like, well, you're in. Welcome to the OG family. And I officially have a code. No expiration code on the code. Expiration code. No expiration date on the code. I'll have it in my caption of this video, but it's just Brittany OG _ and you'll get 15% off. So if you're into clean, organic, vegan, cruelty-free makeup and skincare, and I vow to not promote anything I don't like. And I've actually thought about this. Like, what if they send me something I genuinely don't like? Like, how am I going to handle that? Honesty is the best policy. I feel like with all these influencers and creators out there, I'm sure there's products that like don't work for that person. Like, what if it made them break out or it wasn't the right color or whatever? I'm sure you can send it back or ask them to send something else. So I think if that does happen, then I'll probably just be honest with them, like, hey, this didn't work for me or blah, blah, blah. And so far they only sent me the contour sticks, which I really liked. Since the video, I haven't used the highlighter stick, but I've used the bronzer stick. I really haven't used just because I went to the beach and I got really tan, so it didn't match me anymore. But the blush stick I love. It's a like creamy contour stick instead of like a powder blush. And I just really, really like it. Like, I think I'm a cream over powder now. Anyways, yeah, I just thought that was like a cool little update. In other news, my cousin Zach and his wife Olivia just had a little baby girl. They named her Holland. I don't think she's gonna mind me saying this because she already posted it. But did you know that when your first cousin has a baby, that baby is your first cousin once removed? That is technically what this baby is to me. It's not a niece. It's not a second cousin. It's a first cousin once removed, which I just think is so stupid and weird. Like, what? Literally no one says that. Like, have you ever heard that before? No one says that. And then it's like, what do I call her though? Because she's not my niece. I'm not technically her aunt, and I don't want to like take away from her real aunties. She has real amazing aunties. I think I'm just going to say she's my cousin because I'm not saying she's my first cousin once removed. But like, I looked it up. I looked it up. The first cousin. So a first cousin is someone who shares a same set. Wait, let me get this right. A first cousin is someone who shares a set of grandparents with you. The once removed part means one generation away from you. Now, when I have a child, my child will be second cousins with baby Holland. Random fun fact of the day. Hope you learned something. Okay, what else? Just to talk about work real quick. Rates dropped last week. The feds met. They didn't do anything, but other things happened. To be honest, like, I cannot talk about like the politics that affect the rates. I'm just here to tell you if and when rates go up or down. And right now they are on the downward trend, which is good. We've all been waiting for it for a really long time. So we just got to keep that momentum going. Oh, I know what story I wanted to tell you. Okay. So I'm licensed all over the country, most of the East Coast, California, Texas. Like, I'm licensed all over the country. Okay. I just recently got licensed in like 3 or 4 more states because as my company markets and expands, obviously we're going to start getting more leads, more calls. So we need to have more loan officers that are licensed that can take that business. So I just added a few states, including New Jersey. Okay. New Jersey is one of those states because New Jersey and New York just have to be complicated with everything. And being a New Yorker, I can say that. New Jersey requires I get a new set of fingerprints. So when you become a loan officer, you have to take a test, you have to get licensed, you have to do a criminal background check, you have to get your fingerprints done. It is what it is. But typically when I get licensed in a new state, I can just do the education for that state. They can use the fingerprints and the background check that they already have on file. New Jersey, no. They want me to get a whole new set because of course they do. So when I set up my appointment, there's only like 3 locations you can go to. The closest one is in Rock Hill, 45 minutes away. The next closest location after that is in Tennessee or something wild. So I scheduled my appointment. This was 2 weeks ago now. I don't know. On like a Wednesday or Thursday, I made it during lunch. So I'm getting in my car to go. As soon as I'm getting in my car to go, I get a text notification that my appointment's been canceled. And then I got a voicemail, but it was like an automated voicemail saying, we're sorry to inform you your appointment's been canceled. So I called because I didn't know if it was legit. And they're like, oh yeah, our machine is down. Like, we don't know what's going on with it. So we're canceling all of our appointments for today and tomorrow. We're going to have to reschedule you. Okay, fine. No problem. I didn't care because I didn't even leave yet. I was just getting in my car. So they rescheduled me 2 days later. 2 days go by. I'm about to leave again. Same thing. They canceled within 10 minutes before my appointment. So this happened 3 times. So my appointment got canceled 3 times. So now this is last week. It's the 4th time I'm supposed to go. So I'm getting in my car. I didn't get a text. I didn't get an email. I'm like, okay, I think I'm good. I went into my appointment confirmation email. Everything still said it was good to go. So I make the drive. I'm driving 45 minutes. If you know Charlotte, 77, I don't care what time of day it is or what day of the week it is. There's always traffic. I don't understand it. I don't get it, but it just is what it is. So I drive there. It's an annoying drive. It's fine. So I walk in and no one's in there. The lady, no one's even at the desk. There's no one there. So I walk in. I walk up to the desk. I'm just waiting. And I hear someone, she yells, "Can I help you?" And I was like, yeah, you can. And I was like, yeah, I'm just here for an appointment. Okay. She walks up, walks up with an attitude from wherever she was. I think she was eating her lunch in the back. So she walks up with an attitude. I'm in a fine mood. I'm not here to fight. I come in peace. Whatever. I was just going to take her attitude. Fingerprints take 2 seconds, get it over with and leave. And when you go to get your fingerprints, you have to bring 2 forms of ID, or I do. So I had my ID and my passport. So she says, name, again, with attitude. I tell her my name. Fideli, F like Frank, E-D-E-L-E. She looks it up. She goes, ID. So I hand her my ID, and then as I hand her that, I'm getting out my passport because I know she's gonna need that. And she goes, I didn't ask for your passport. I'm like, what? Now I'm just I just want to be like, what the frick is wrong with you? Why are you choosing just to be a miserable bee right now? Why? Literally why? It's just me and you standing here. There's no reason for it. So I just, whatever. I try to brush it off. I just put my passport back in my purse. I'm sitting there and she goes, oh, you're trying to get fingerprints for out of state? I said, yeah, I'm trying to get my mortgage originator fingerprints for New Jersey. Yeah, that machine's been down. I looked at her and I said, okay, I know that because I've had 3 other appointments that were canceled, but I didn't get a cancellation email or text or anything today, so I thought we'd be fine. Oh, no, we don't know when that machine's going to be working again. Hands me back my ID. Doesn't even make eye contact with me, just hands me back my ID, and then just starts sipping her extra large Bojangles drink. I swear to God, I looked at her. She wasn't even looking at me. I was staring at her. There were so many things I wanted to say. There were so many things I wanted to do. I had, my imagination, I visualized taking the Bojangles cup out of her hand, taking the top off, and just dumping it on her face. I was just staring at her. And she just, and the thing is, she wanted a reaction out of me. She was sipping her drink, she was on her computer, wasn't even acknowledging me. I'm standing right there. So after about 10, 15 seconds, I take a breath and I was like, okay, can you reschedule me? Do you have no ETA on when you think it's going to be up? No, you got to call customer service. I can't do it. Guys, I looked at her, I smiled, and I said, I hope you have a lovely day. And I turned around and I walked out and I got in my car and I fucking screamed. I screamed like I was about to punch my window. Oh my God, my patience was tested so bad. Oh my God, the whole car ride back, my heart rate was elevated. I just blasted rap music on my car ride back to work because I was like, I need to just zone out right now. I don't know. I called customer service, which that alone was just an annoying process. I had to go through 10 machines and whatever. And they were like, oh, we can reschedule you for tomorrow. It doesn't look like the machine's down. I said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Clearly the machine is down. I said, put me 2 weeks out. And then when that 2 weeks rolls around, I'm literally going to call the morning of and triple check that we're good to go. So I don't even know when my appointment is now. I think it's like next week. I have no idea, but that was the fingerprint story. And the funny part is about my heart rate being elevated. I just got an Oura ring, okay? Which I don't want to discourage anyone from getting it because I'm not saying I don't like it yet. I just don't know that it's like all it's hyped up to be, but I just got it. I have had it for literally less than a month. I still need it needs a lot of time. I probably like 3 full months of data and like getting to know me to really for me to benefit from it and like see trends and whatnot. So first of all, I just like the way it looks, which is a plus. So we're good there. But it does monitor your heart rate and your stress. And I looked at this data that night, and literally the bar graph was it's like I woke up in the morning, it's a little stress. I get to work, it's like fine. Right after I got in my car, after that fingerprint appointment, I was like, woo, peak max stress. I'm like, yeah, no shit. So that was funny. Oh, all right. That's it, guys. That's all I have to say. One thing I am really, really, really excited about that I can't say too much about yet just because we are still in the early stages of planning, but Caitlin, aka Stay Witchy, the psychic medium that was on my podcast most recently, got a ton of positive feedback, by far the most engagement. Everyone was so into that, which I'm not surprised. I literally live and die by her, so I get it. But we are going to do a live podcast. So in person, live readings. I think, again, this is a work in progress, but what I think we're thinking is it'll be podcast style, interview style. We'll probably touch on some of the stuff we already did touch on, but then go more in depth, new topics, different things, and then take live questions from the audience. So hopefully everyone who comes is really willing to to engage and participate. And yeah, she'll give you a live reading. Anything you want to know, anyone you want to connect to, any questions you have, yourself, career, money, finances, relationships, anything and everything. I just think it'll be super, super cool, super fun, different. So we have to secure a venue. Once we have the venue and the date, then we can really just start getting everything planned, and it'll be exciting. So stay tuned for that. I think it's going to be sometime in October. And yeah, I'm going to focus on quality over quantity as far as episodes go moving forward. I'm making this pact to myself and to you guys that I'm not going to let myself get in these 3-4 week ruts. I got to just put the content out and keep it moving. So I hope everyone has an amazing day. I hope no miserable bee drinking Bojangles pisses you off today. And that's it. Peace, love, and happiness. Ciao.